You're listening to the Morning Punchin' Show with RB and J, live and direct from more cities than an Instagram model's bio. Get ready for some boxing talk on the clock. Let's face it, you're not working and somebody's got to pay for the Wi-Fi.
Good morning, everybody. It's time for another installment of the Morning Punchin' Show with RB and J. This is your girl, J, broadcasting live from the LBC. Everybody's in different locations today, but we are together to bring another great show for you. Instead of RB bringing me in this time, it's kind of fun. Wait, let me channel my RB so we can get this show started right. Good morning, everybody. It's the Morning Punchin' Show, the most unpredictable, honest, and authentic morning punchin' boxing talk show in the game. Today is Monday, April 24th, 2017, and our special guests on the Hotline Bling are Shawn and Kenny Porter right after their devastating victory over Andre Berto Saturday night in Brooklyn, so we'll talk to them about that. Of course, we've got Jake Donovan joining us for Jake's Take to give you all the updates on the weekend fight action and what he's hearing behind the scenes. But there would not be a show without our fearless leader, the illustrious Raging Babe, RB. What's going on, RB? Oh, no, I think I lost RB. RB is out in the field in North Carolina, and the weather is really, really bad there. Oh, I got her back. Good morning,
Okay,
RB.
I'm here. Hey, Jay, how are you?
I am excellent. How are you doing? It's storming Norman out there where you are in North Carolina.
Yeah, I'm out here in North Carolina. It's fight week in Durham. It's been storming since yesterday, really bad thunderstorms and rain. Our Wi-Fi is in and out. My phone service sucks, so I'm going to try my best to hang on today and make it through the Morning Punchin' Show with you guys.
Well, that was kind of fun doing the intro this morning. It was pretty cool. I see why you like doing it. But I'm glad I could get with you, RB, because I know it's bad back there, and you've got a wonderful, wonderful show going down this week. But you had your first event last night in your new partnership with Rasheed Wallace. Tell us about your event last night and how great it went.
Oh, man, we hosted a dinner for the boxing moms of North Carolina. Rasheed Wallace and I have gotten really close as friends out here since me coming out to North Carolina. He completely saw the vision of telling their stories. You know, they're the fighters. They're the silent force behind these fighters, and they deal with a lot of adversity as well, and they have sacrificed so much money and tears and sweat along with their sons, and we just wanted to share their triumphs and their struggles and their setbacks, and we had an amazing dinner last night. There was lots of drinks, lots of food, lots of laughs, and lots of tears, and so we will be putting that all together for you guys hopefully in the next couple of weeks and to share that with everyone. It was great.
That's amazing. That's such an overlooked segment of boxing society. Nobody feels that pain other than the fighters themselves, like the moms. You know, the fathers obviously too, the ones that are involved, but the mothers who gave birth to these warriors feel the depth of their pain on a whole nother level that nobody will truly understand unless they're a mother. So kudos to you. It really is.
Yeah, it really is unexplainable. And the dinner was hosted at his store called For Ama Home in Durham, which is a women's boutique, which you will be hearing about that more. And actually, we're going to play Know It or Blow It today. And if you win the trivia game, you will actually get a free gift from the ForAmaHome.com store.
That's awesome. Ooh, I wish I could play. So, once again, you are listening
got a call.
to the Morning Punchin' Show. They got a call, which is a reminder to the number, 718-508-9852. Remember, when you hear it's time to play Know It or Blow It, you have to call 718-508-952 and press 1 on your keypad so we can pick you up. Before we dive into the show, let me go ahead and reread today's hot question that we tweeted out this morning. Today's hot question: grade this weekend's card. Did boxing give the fans what they wanted this weekend? Why or why not? Remember, we had the card happening in Brooklyn, headlined by Shawn Porter and Andre Berto, and we also had the card in California, the top-ranked pay-per-view card led by Oscar Valdez versus Mariaga. So make sure you tweet your responses and use the hashtag TMPS so we can read your responses on the air. We had a full weekend of fights this weekend, RB. I know you were out and about, but
Yeah.
you're never far away from your boxing if you got your phone with you.
Well, that's another big reason why we have Jake Donovan for Jake's Take. He seems to, keep up with all the fights. There was some stuff going on overseas. Gabe Rosado and Martin Murray fought, which unfortunately I didn't get to see that fight. Again, me being out in North Carolina, I didn't have Showtime. Thank God I watched somebody's Facebook Live, so I caught some Porter Birdo, but I didn't see anything of the Valdez fight. I didn't see anything of Zorro, so I'm counting on you and Jake to break it down, not only for the listeners today, but for me as well.
Well, we're going to break it down for you. And it looks like we got Jake Donovan on the line, so let's get it started.
You're rocking with the Morning Punching Show with RB and J, and now it's time for Jake's Take.
Good morning.
What's up, Jake Donovan?
What's up, Jay? I got to give it to you. That was a dead ringer for RB. You had me all thrown off this morning. Last week you guys got me on a Tuesday, and now you got Jay doing RB doing Jay. It's crazy.
Hey, we do what we can do to bring the boxing to the people and the people to the boxing.
Yeah, I mean, that's what makes the show fun and unpredictable.
That's right.
So, listen, Jake,
Yep.
we want to talk about a few things with you today. There was a little bit of a fiasco in New York with Hatley. We want to talk a little bit about Valdez needing to, get more on network TV. We want to talk about the Parker Fury fallout. So where do we start? Maybe we start with Kurtzizide. How do you say his last name? He really broke through. Kurtzizi.
Yeah, we just need to call him badass. I mean, that little dude is that man can punch. I don't know how well he can box yet. I don't know how well he can take a punch, but he's fun to watch. He's fun to listen to, and he really put it on Tommy Langford this weekend. And maybe we do need to take a deep breath and say, well, Tommy Langford was unbeaten, but he's kind of unknown. We don't know if Kurtzizi is yet the truth, but it's going to be a lot of fun watching him on his way to the top. And it was a hell of a knockout. It was just like the Antoine Douglas fight. He knew exactly how he wanted to win, and that's exactly the way he won. He ended up slammed the left hook across poor Langford's face, dropped him to the canvas. Dared him to get up. Langford had no chance of getting up. The best thing he did was just allowing the referee to stop the fight. It was just, it's always fun watching this guy fight out. The last time we saw him was over a year ago on Showtime, on that, special edition of Showbox or whatever. This time was on Box Nation and BT Sport. Hopefully the American networks realize this guy needs to be on TV. He's got Lou DiBella behind him. I know Lou is going to be pushing hard for him to get his title shot next, and then facing whatever middleweight is still standing around, with whether it's Gennady Golovkin, Canelo, whoever. I mean, it's going to be a lot of fun watching this guy.
He is a big, bad ass. He's a short and compact, and he has that power behind him, and when he lets it leak, when he lets it go, it's amazing. A little bit of a moment there. It looked like the weight was going to be an issue, but it looked like it all came out in the wash. He's still a bad.
Yeah, that was strange.
Man.
I mean, he was almost a half a pound over. Then he came back. He actually dropped 1.5 pounds. I mean, we could take a guess at that, how he released it. But you had poor, Marlon Tapales in Japan, who was 1.5 pounds over. He was in a sauna for 2 hours in a full body suit, riding a bike trying to lose weight and only shed 1/4 pound. Kurtzizi, the look on his face, like him and Andre Rosa were very surprised he was overweight. So, I mean, he came back, I think it was like an hour and a half later he came back, and he dropped he only needed to lose 0.5 pound. He went the extra mile and lost 1.5 pounds. And so I guess it wasn't that much of a concern. Yep.
You know who wasn't impressed with him this weekend was Billy Joe Saunders.
No,
he said he's not impressed with him.
Yeah, it's funny. We saw Saunders was ringside for the fight. Then when he was on TV afterwards, it almost seemed like he was bothered by the fact that he had to fight him next. And a lot of people are like, he's going to fake an injury, he's going to pull out of the fight. But you kind of get a sense of why he's annoyed, because his next fight was supposed to be, a 4-belt unification bout with Gennady Golovkin. So, I mean, I'd be pissed off, too, if I had a fight with Golovkin guaranteed. We paid this guy step-aside money and gave him an interim title fight. Kurtzizi got cash in his pocket, and he's got a belt, and now still a guaranteed shot at Billy Joe Saunders, who really has nothing to show for it. So what's going to be the icing on the cake for Saunders is if now that he's committed to this fight, God forbid Golovkin and Canelo don't fight in September. Then what? Now he's stuck fighting Kurtzizi, and it's who knows? Maybe then someone gets hurt and winds up fighting Gennady instead. But But I'll give it to Billy Joe. I mean, once it sank in that he has to fight this guy next, he put his mind to it. He got in Garcia's face afterwards. They had a little post-fight celebration. I don't know if it was a post-fight press conference or like a celebration, but he was yelling at Garcia, yelling at Andre Rozier, and telling him, he ain't nothing, calling him a little, puffed up Danny DeVito. He's just going out of his way to insult him. But, he's already selling the fight. He's proud of the fact that, he's got a lot of weight to lose. But he gave a good answer to that, saying, he doesn't do drugs. His addiction is food. So when he's not fighting, he eats. And then, when he has to fight, he gets in the gym and he loses it. So there's going to be a lot of pent-up anger. Garcia, he's always looking for the knockout. Billy Joe Saunders is coming to a fight, for the first time in a long time, fighting for a purpose. So when they fight, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, let's go over to Liverpool.
Yeah,
let's go over to Liverpool where Martin Murray defeated Gabriel Rosado. I did not watch this, so I can't really give a lot of input. I'm just going to count on you and Jay.
Yeah, it was a good, not great fight, and I'll give promoter Eddie Hearn all the credit in the world. He actually said that he thought it was going to be an action fight. I think he was disappointed by the fact that it was just a good boxing match. He was very disappointed by the final scores. One judge had it even, which is how I had the fight. One judge had it absurd. I think it was 119-109. It's just, what the hell were you watching? But, Murray probably did deserve a very close decision win. Gabe fought well early. It was a nice boxing match early. Gabe, it's smart. It's like, you look at him and the guy starts bleeding. So he did everything he could to prevent, from the fight getting stopped on cuts. I think he might have eased up a little too much and tried to save too much for later. Murray kind of exploited that in the middle rounds, and I think that's what really won the fight for him. It got to a point where Martin still to build up a lead where, Gabe had to knock him out in order to win. Billy Briscoe told him that in the championship rounds. He's like, you got to let it all hang out. To Gabe's credit, he did. He won the last 2 rounds very big, which on my card brought it to even, but it just, in the eyes of the other 2 judges, the fight was already decided by then. I thought it was a good fight. A lot of people killed it, maybe because they just expected this all-out war because that's the way these 2 guys fight. But, it was a good fight. And what I liked about it is, Murray, now he gets another opportunity. He had to earn it. He beat Gabe. If he stays at middleweight, I'm not sure how far he goes. What I like is, Gabe actually has one more opportunity now because he showed that, he can get through 12 rounds. He can box. He's not going to bleed to death. And, with Billy Briscoe, I think, maybe – there's some guys you just want to see retire, and you say, well, if Gabe Rosado lost this fight, this is it. But it was a very close fight, and I think he should get at least one more opportunity. I mean, I'm not saying he should get a rematch with Gennady Golovkin, but, give him one more shot where if he loses that fight, then he's absolutely done. But he didn't embarrass himself, except after the fight when, him and Murray went after each other. They were both pissed off. Murray was pissed off that one judge had it even. Gabe was upset that he lost the 11-1 on one card. Then they both got in each other's face, and I thought Gabe should have just found a way to back off, or Billy should have grabbed him at least, and told Gabe, hey man,
Rosado has 9 lives. I mean, just when you think he's done, he gets another fight, and it's always a decent fight, and then he's just the gift that keeps giving. But listen, let's switch gears a little bit because we want to talk about some good stuff, and we want to get your take on this All-Star Boxing, the latest with Canelo, where they actually want to deduct millions of dollars from his next purse in the Canelo fight. I mean, in the Chavez fight. What is going on with that?
Okay, so the case was settled. We all know, All-Star Boxing won the case last year against Canelo. They sued Canelo and Golden Boy, actually. They sued Golden Boy for tortious interference, but, the jury cleared Golden Boy of that, so there was no charges levied against them. But Canelo was found to breach his contract with All-Star Boxing that he signed in 2008. The jury decided that, he owed All-Star Boxing $8.5 million for the profit that All-Star Boxing lost by investing into his career early. Canelo appealed it. I think he did two appeals, but I know the final appeal was denied on March 18th, and then All-Star Boxing, was told, they now had the right to collect and that summons could be served within 45 days. This is exactly what they did. They served the summons to Golden Boy. They served the summons to HBO. They had the state of Nevada serve a summons to the T-Mobile Arena and to the MGM hotel properties. And by that, obviously, I mean the people who run those facilities, not the actual building. But the reason for that is they believe Canelo has shifted his assets to where if they go after Canelo, he doesn't have $8.5 million to turn over. So now the belief is that, these 4 parties are hiding Canelo's assets. And that's why All-Star Boxing is going after Canelo's purse or any assets they have that's going to total $8.5 million. Basically, what he wants to make sure is that this gets paid. Golden Boy is claiming they're filing another appeal. I don't know how, if the judge, dismissed the final appeal. But my understanding is that this appeal that he's trying to put in, it has to come with $8.5 million up front, whereas if it gets turned down, the money immediately gets turned over to All-Star Boxing. Like the $8.5 million gets held in escrow. Alvarez hasn't done that yet, so therefore there really hasn't been an appeal filed. It's like it'd be me saying, hey, I appeal the outcome of this fight, but if I don't pay for that appeal, then it doesn't count. So right now, Tuto Zavala is looking to collect, and Canelo, he's supposed to be getting $10 million for the Chavez fight, so he might be getting 1.5 plus profits if the other four parties kind of back off and tell him you're on your own.
Okay, so Canelo's supposed to make $10 million for the Chavez fight, and All Star wants $8 million of that purse. Is that what you're saying?
What they want is their $8.5 million. However, Canelo wants to pay it. If he doesn't want to pay it, before the fight, then he's going to put a lien. Basically, the writ of garnishment is saying he's entitled to $8.5 million any time that money becomes available. And if that money comes in the form of Canelo's next check, then he has to turn over the $8.5. It's like if you owe the IRS money and they want it, they're going to take it out of your next paycheck. So in this case, All-Star Boxing is acting as the IRS. So. Yeah.
All-Star Boxing put a boot on Canelo Chavez. It's like getting up in the morning, walking out to your car, and there's a boot on your car.
Well, yeah, exactly.
Wow, they're going to get their money.
That's the problem with too. It's like everyone who's looking forward to the fight, and especially Golden Boy's spokesman is the way they're phrasing it. They're making All-Star Boxing out to be the bad guy. I mean, Canelo's the one who signed the contract and decided he was going to jump ship and go to another promoter while still on the contract. If you didn't like the agreement, then you find a legal way out of it. He's the one that took another avenue, and now he literally has to pay the price.
How dare they want their money back? Terrible.
Well, I mean, I will say, All-Star Boxing did not invest $8.5 million. I think the actual amount invested was $180,000. The jury decided $8.5 million is what he's entitled to based on what Canelo has made since he left All-Star Boxing and joined Golden Boy. So, I mean, of course, there's a case to be made that Golden Boy made him that star, but, the judge and jury decided otherwise.
Well, look, so often you have fighters that sign these contracts, and then when it's time to actually execute the contract, they pump the brakes and they start doing whatever they want to do.
Yep.
Not too long ago, Chris Algieri was going through the same kind of thing with his promoter where, the Guardia and those guys, they take a big percentage of these guys' purses, but at the same time, you knew what you signed years ago. So when it's time to cough up that 20-30%, you got to do it. You signed.
Yeah, I mean, there's another example. I know, according to that itinerary we're going to touch on in a minute, but, Charles Hatley and Don King, really any fighter that signs with Don King today, it's like if you sign in with Don King in 2017, you have to know what you're getting yourself into. So,
absolutely.
A lot of boxers, you wonder if they really understand the contracts they're signing. You wonder if they're even reading it. If, they're having their lawyers read it, their managers read it. If it's anyone other than yourself reading the contract, people are going to read it for you, but they don't necessarily have your entire, best intention at heart. So by the time you're signing it, a lot of guys, they don't know what the hell they're signing. They're just being told to sign it, and they do so. And then they realize, damn, I'm getting screwed over. But by then it's too late.
Yeah, do we even know why Charles Hatley is suing Don King?
Yeah, okay. So last year, this was after the Anthony Mundine fight when he knocked him out in Australia. I think it was a few months after, in 2016. He was having a hard time getting a fight. He wanted Jamel Charlo was already lined up to fight John Jackson for the vacant WBC title. The WBC was put together that tournament that never came about. Hatley was a part of it, but he wanted to ensure that he was getting a title fight. He decided at that time, he and his father decided that Don King was the best way to get that title fight, so they signed with him. And then ever since then, it's just, Charles Hatley's just done, everything possible to damage his career. And then by the time he finally gets the fight, I guess another lawyer got in his ear and decided, he was reading the contract and say, well, Don King was supposed to get you a fight in 2016, not necessarily just his title fight. You didn't fight at all. He owes you fights, therefore you can get out of this contract. So it's not exactly how the way it works because, Charles Hatley has to accept the fight that's given to him, and he has to accept, that offer. The problem was it took so long to negotiate the Charlo, the fight with Jamel Charlo that it just dragged all the way through 2016. I mean, people, of course, can blame Al Heyman for shutting everything down in the fourth quarter of 2016, because basically no PBC fights happened up until December. But, Charles Hatley entered those negotiations. They dragged on and on and on. They couldn't agree on a purse. Then they finally agreed to something. But then by the time they agreed, they had to wait for the next TV date to come around. It was supposed to be in March, but, the Gary Russell Escandon fight got pushed back. So then it finally got this date for last weekend.
Yeah, well, whoever thought that was a 50-50 fight They are just delusional. But talking about Hatley, there was a fiasco in New York where he posted something on Instagram. He was getting an IV, and in New York, that is illegal. So what did they do behind the scenes, Jake, to shake this out and make the fight happen? I assume that there was some money exchange.
Basically, and this is what I was given bad info because I did report that, according to VADA rules and New York State Athletic Commission rules, you can't get an IV after the weigh-in. The New York State Athletic Commission did correct me, and, I corrected my story. They actually don't have a rule on it. It's like they don't say you can get it, but they also don't say you can't. They called it a silent rule. I think it's a rule that they're kind of reviewing because they're still deciding whether or not they want boxing in the state after all the legislation nonsense that's put in last year. But it's a VADA rule, VADA, Voluntary Anti-Doping Agency. They conduct, the random testing through the WBC Clean Boxing Program. So, that's on the prohibited list. You can't get an IV. I mean, went through that with, Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, where it came out that Floyd, said he put in for an exemption and, whatever time he did. But, that became, yet another part of the controversy into that fight. But with Hatley,
Whoa, time out. Mr. Long Island, he be talking so fast and we got all these questions. Was there VADA testing for Charlo Hatley?
Yeah, there was. All WBC title fights are VADA tested unless, for whatever reason, another agency is brought in. But VADA testing was involved for this fight, and no exemptions were filed. And the worst part with Hatley is, a lot of boxers do, they practice this. It's kept very off the record, just like, fighters, tested, but, there's athletes, not just boxing, but there are athletes that are still using steroids. They just find ways to cheat the system. What you don't do is go on social media and advertise that you're cheating the system. Charles Hatley, I understand, it's his first title fight. He wants to document every moment. But there's some stuff you just leave off camera. You don't, show yourself posing with, after with, the IV with the nurse in the background and crediting the IV company that performed the damn function. So he realized he was wrong because he ended up scrubbing his timeline after that. I think he had like 2 accounts. He killed one. It's just, all I could say is, for everything he's done in the past year, justice was served in the end with that result. I don't dislike Charles Hatley, but I've never seen a fighter go so far out of his way to sabotage his own career.
Dumb. Oh well.
Yeah, dumb.
And we'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the show. So now we are on to the next topic. Let's talk about the fallout of the Fury Parker fight. And Dominic Brissell says he wants to slide up into the DMs and get that fight too. Give us an update on the Parker Fury fight falling out.
Yeah, this fight was supposed to happen April 1st. The Fury side had it pushed back to May 6th. Well, not necessarily to the specific date of May 6th, but they let it linger on long enough to where May 6th became the next available date. Parker, they made every concession in order to make this fight happen. Of course, it's going to happen in New Zealand because Joseph Parker's a huge draw there. But the problem that they have with the excuse that, Fury injured his back, and maybe he did. I'm not in a position to say whether or not he did. But their issue is that they fought over travel. They fought over every single detail. And the Parker side was never given any clear indication of when they would arrive in New Zealand or even if, they were going to go through with the fight. And then to come up and say, we're injured, we're not fighting, that has them, looking at it with skepticism. But, apparently, Fury hurt his back a couple of weeks ago in training. He's been unable to train, and that's why he's been kind of silent. I think they were kind of riding it out, hoping that the pain would go away in time to, resume training and then head to New Zealand. But it was just a lot of questions unanswered, including, Joseph Parker trains in Las Vegas. He and Kevin Barry went to New Zealand, and they were like, well, damn, no one from Team Fury is even here yet. They're sitting there holding a press conference saying, well, I'm ready to fight May 6th. Yeah, we hope it's Huey Fury, but, it's not Huey Fury. Excuse me. Now it's not. So now he's looking at other opponents. I did hear Brazil was one. Jarrell Big Dave Miller is another one. I think he's number 3 or 4 in the WBO. So the WBO gave Parker permission to fight anyone in the top 15 if they feel they could find someone of quality to keep the May 6th date alive. And Parker wants to test because this is going to be his last fight in New Zealand. He wants to travel the globe from now on. He wants to put the world in world champion. He wants the winner of Anthony Joshua and Vladimir Klitschko. He's looking for top fights. Deontay Wilder, he's willing to fight. So this is going to be his last one in New Zealand because he knows, he can make even bigger fights by traveling, the globe and building his brand that way. So what he doesn't want to do is have this May 6th event get canceled. So my understanding is they have an idea of who they're going to fight. They're kind of keeping it mum, but they're supposed to announce it, I guess over there it'd be tonight, their time, today our time, or it's going to be early tomorrow morning. That we should know who he's fighting on May 6th.
You mentioned Big Baby Miller, and I really forgot all about this guy. It seemed like he was pretty hot there about a year ago, and he was talking a lot, and you kind of saw him doing a lot of videos, and then it's like he fell off the face of the earth.
Yeah, well, another guy that signed a promotional contract. He was with Dimitri Salita, and now he's, he's. I don't know if he got out of the contract or he's still going to get out of the contract, but I know I think it's a legal issue, as we see, because I know Dimitri said he had him on the contract, but he was no longer his promoter. That was the way he phrased it. So, it's a matter of if Miller can even fight. He has to be cleared of whatever promotional agreement he has with Salita, or he would have to go in agreeing that Salita is still his promoter in order to accept any fight these days. But, we'll see. I mean, I would like to see, for everything Dominic Brazil just went through in Birmingham, including, suing Deontay Wilder for what happened in that post fight, it would be nice for Dominic to get another shot, especially the way he went out against Anthony Joshua last year. I'm not sure I like his chances a lot against Joseph Parker, but I think he'll give a much better go of it than was the case last year.
Yes. Well, now it's your shot. If you're a WBO ranked heavyweight in the top 15, you've got a chance. Dylan White, step on up. We've got Kubrat is fighting this weekend, so he doesn't get the shot. So Christian Hammer, Big Baby, Andy Ruiz, hey, holler at the WBO. You might get a title shot out of it.
Yeah, logistically, I was Christian Hammer was the one I was looking at that would probably land it if Miller wasn't available to fight. But my guess would be either Christian Hammer or Dominic Brazil. So, and honestly, on 2 weeks' notice, I'd be fine with either one of those fights. Although my personal preference, I'd rather see Joseph Parker fight Brazil.
All right. Well, Jake Donovan, it's always a pleasure to have you with us. Make sure you all follow Jake in the letter N, the box on Twitter. And for those of them who've been asleep at the wheel, give them your website, Jake, so they can go and see more of your writing and keep up with everything you're doing, because you are everywhere. You got eyes everywhere.
Yep. Just head over to fightnights.com. I dropped 3 more stories this morning, including, the update on Joseph Parker. And then also Claudio Marrero and Carlos Zambrano. They're now fighting as the main event on FS1 this weekend. And, fight that Claudio Marrero's been waiting for a year for. And, he's finally getting the opportunity. But, yeah, fightnights.com. Go check it all out.
I will.
All right.
I'm there right now. Fight Nights.
All right, Jake, thank you so much. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and we are going to announce a little more Know It or Blow It and get ready for our next guest, Shawn and Kenny Porter.
If you want the best, BoxStats beats the rest. BoxStats is the best boxing app for all you boxing enthusiasts and professional boxers. Perform a quick search and get all the info you want and need. BoxStats, available on the Apple App Store. Download it for free today. BoxStats, know your opponent.
We are back. Welcome back to the Morning Punch-In Show with RB and J. It's your girl Jay. I'm in the LBC today. RB is out in North Carolina sending up messages by carrier pigeon, but we are with you, making sure you get the hottest morning boxing talk show in the game on this Monday, April 24th. Know it or blow it, RB. It looks like we have a pretty busy switchboard. Do you want to announce the know it or blow it question for this week?
Well, here we go. I don't want to announce the question because we want somebody to call in. Press 1 if you are listening on your phone, 718-508-9852. Press 1 if you want to play Know It or Blow It. We'll give you 10 seconds, maybe even 20 seconds, depending on how hard the trivia question is that I pull out of this bag here. And if you win, you receive a free gift from forama.com.
Looks like we have
anybody
lucky
willing
person
to dare to play with us.
I think we got somebody daring to be great from the 504. 504-231, you are live with RB and J. What's your name and where are you calling from?
That's a Green, Mississippi.
All right, sir. You ready to play some Know It or Blow It this morning?
Yeah. See if I keep my winning streak going.
Oh, you got a
winning
winning streak?
You gotta get hyped.
Yeah, I won a couple of shirts from you.
Oh, Lord, that's right. You got, like, the whole wardrobe.
I got the Muhammad Ali, and I got You Don't Know Boxing. And
Yeah. Okay, well, today's Know It or Blow It. Today's Know It or Blow It is brought to you by forama.com. Rasheed Wallace is the owner of this fabulous boutique, but they also have men's stuff too. So if you win, we'll let you pick, any of their men products, and we will get those out to you. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I win this, I'll ask y'all if I win it first.
Okay, if you win. Okay, here we go. Let me pick one out here. All right. How old was George Foreman when he became the oldest heavyweight champion in history? How old was George Foreman when he became the oldest heavyweight champ? Jay, give him 10 seconds.
You gave me this question before. 45.
Oh, my gosh, I did? Wait, that shouldn't even count.
No, then you got to play again. You're playing.
You got to play again. I already gave you that one.
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay, let's see.
I got one for you. And
okay.
I don't think I got a know or to blow up question for you.
You got to give me 10 seconds.
We got 10 seconds on the clock. Are you ready?
Uh-huh.
How old was, in honor of this press junket that I did this weekend and the movie coming out next week, how old was Chuck Wepner when he fought Muhammad Ali for the heavyweight title? You have 10 seconds.
This is a good
Let's
one.
go.
This is a good one. Was he 35? 36? 40? Was he 40?
Is that your final answer?
My final answer is 40.
No, that's not the right answer. That is not the right answer, and I'm not going to give out the right answer because we might want to keep that one in the stash. So if you're listening, make sure that you go out and see Chuck next week starring Liev Schreiber.
Why you had to throw that? Why you threw that one out? Why you had to throw that?
Because there's nowhere to blow it, and you got to dare to be great.
Come on, now. Nobody even thinking that other dude.
Exactly, but it was a professionally sanctioned fight that went the distance, and that question popped in my mind because I just did that press junket with Liev Schreiber. So we're going to go ahead and put you back in the queue and bring
you wrong.
I know. Isn't that great? Isn't that great? I bet we knew you weren't going to get the answer to that one.
So you was my favorite.
Oh, Jay, you blew it.
I blew it. I knew it, and I blew it. All right, hold on. We're going to put you back in the queue and bring on our guests. I'm going to take a quick commercial break and make sure that these are our guests in the queue calling from a blocked number.
If you want the best, BoxStats beats the rest. BoxStats is the best boxing app for all you boxing enthusiasts and professional boxers. Perform a quick search and get all the info you want and need. BoxStats, available on the Apple App Store. Download it for free today. BoxStats, know your opponent.
All right, we are back. Let us see if our special guests are in the queue. Let me see what number this is. Unknown caller. Who is this and where are you calling from?
Oh, I'm sorry, girls. I'm listening to the show. I'm at work.
All right, cool. I'll put you back in the queue. Our special guest, if you are in the queue because someone's missing a phone, please press 1 so I can pick you up on the console. Let's see if this is our special guest. 910, who is this and where are you calling from?
Oh, this is just Jamel Herring. I'm just listening to the show.
What? Jamel, I'm glad Jamel just called. I am glad that Jamel Herring's on the line. Jamel, when are we going to see you fight? What's good?
Right now I'm scheduled to come back sometime maybe in June, probably when Robert Easter fights again. But
I'll
keep y'all posted on that. But I'll be back soon.
But listen, Jamel, I see a lot of fights getting made that I feel like are perfect for you. So do they just not want to fight you?
Speaking of fights like that, what is it? May 2nd, Ivan Redcatch and
yes, that's exactly the one I'm referring to.
That was actually two opponents that were presented to me. But Ivan Redcatch, he keeps saying no. And me and Mendez, we were gonna fight, but I guess he had an incident where he had to pull out, and that's when I had to get a late opponent in my last fight. But I'm still trying. I'm still trying.
Man.
See, that's why you have to listen to the Morning Punch-In Show. You never, ever know who will call in. While we're awaiting our special guest, why don't we get your hot take? What did you think of Shawn Porter's performance against Andre Berto. At the conclusion of the fight, he jumped right in and said something about headbutts. What did you think about the performance as you watched it?
I mean, I didn't think, like I said, I didn't think it was intentionally. We all know that, Shawn makes it, rough and aggressive for anybody. So I didn't take it as like a bad thing. It just happens at times, especially with the style that Shawn comes with. But for the most part, I think we all basically seen that coming because Shawn's real hungry, and I was just happy to see him back in there because I feel that he puts on a great fight when he gets in there with anybody. But I didn't take the headbutts and the accidents as like anything personal or anything intentional.
I want to ask you for your very, very honest opinion. For a couple years there, a lot of people thought the Charlo brothers were a little bit of hype, including me. Okay, so I will eat crow. Are they the new bad boys in boxing? Like, are they the real deal? Can we all say like, okay, yeah, they decent?
I mean, I give like people like you some credit because that actually things of that nature, how people felt about them, actually basically fueled them to be where they're at now. But I really feel that they're really trying to prove a point, and get their names out there. And right now they're on a good look. At one point in time, we all thought that that Jamel was just basically the more technically sound, and Jamal was more just a heavy hitter. But Jamel's proven that now he's starting to get his pop. And he got some pop in his punches, and that they really want those big fights. You give them credit because they actually are looking for bigger fights and actually trying to call out other champions. So I give them all the credit in the world. Jamal wants to make a run at the middleweight, and he's already looking at guys like Canelo, Golovkin. I recently seen he called out Danny Jacobs also. So I give them credit for that because they're not just trying to hold belts and just fight mandatories that nobody wants to see. So, I give them a lot of respect for that.
Yeah, and I like that they have kind of become like the villains, where before they were like the real nice twins.
Yeah,
and people were like,
the real laid-back twins.
Yeah, and now they become like the villains. They talking real heavy, they talking greasy, and people are like kind of feeling that about them because I think they're really showing, who they are. And out in New York, they were both kind of mad out there when they were talking to the media. I know they even checked a couple media members from what I heard, and they even said, look, we're not getting our respect in this boxing game. What more do we have to do?
I mean, like I said, all they can do right now is just keep going out there and winning, and not just, winning any, like, in a dull fashion. Just keep on putting on great performances, and they'll get the respect that they deserve. And, we all know the 154-pound division is high, I would eventually like to see him, fight even my boy Demetrius Andrade.
There's another one who can't get a fight.
Yeah.
Right.
Yo.
Well, that is awesome. I love that JaVale Herring is rocking with us this morning. That's pretty awesome.
I know, right? And you know what else I need to know from Mel, because I know he's a big, big boxing fan. It doesn't matter, who you are, where you signed with. It don't matter with Mel either. So out of all the fights coming up in the next month or two, which one are you most looking forward to? I could tell you which one I'm actually looking forward to, which I think is going to surprise some people. But which one are you most looking forward to?
I got to say the Kell Brook Errol Spence fight.
That's a good fight. A lot of eyes on that fight.
Exactly. Like, I keep it real with anybody. Like I said, we all know Errol is my brother and my teammate. But this is going to be, this is really going to show, if he's the real deal or not. This is going to really bring out, I think it's going to bring out the best of both of them because, they have Errol as a favorite. But let's be serious, Kell Brook isn't a pushover. Kell Brook,
and he's been tested.
I still believe he's probably one of the best welterweights out there. So, it's just one fight that I'm interested in seeing because, like I said, we all know there's a lot of hype behind Errol. And, a lot of people still feel that Kell is a dangerous opponent. And I'm just waiting to see how it all plays out.
Jay, how about you, Jay, before I tell you which one I'm most looking forward to?
The fight I'm looking forward to is the one happening this weekend, Joshua versus Klitschko.
Ooh.
This is going to be a great, great test for the young champion. Could this be the swan song of one of the modern era's long storied reigns in heavyweight history? So it's a good test on either side and how it happened. However it ends, it's still going to be a plus for either of their careers. But the bigger plus, obviously, is for Joshua. So I'm looking very much forward to that one.
I am looking forward to Gervonta Davis versus Walsh because Tank is about to go over there into some deep waters. I mean, the fans over there are unlike no other. You know, he's not going to have his crowd. He's not going to have his hometown. It is a completely different environment, stage. It could be very hostile over there. And I know Tank is very mentally strong, but it's different over there. It's just different. And I'm pulling for the kid, but I think it's going to be a tougher fight than most people think. I think it's going to be tougher than Pedraza.
I give him that. That's crazy that y'all mentioned Pedraza because I was just mentioning to my team, if he wants to move up to 35, I will more than likely welcome him there too.
Ooh, let me tweet that.
Let's put it. You know, RB and I are in the habit. We make fights on this show. We don't get the chance that we should get from making fights, but we make fights on this show.
Everybody's matchmaker.
That's right.
And the one fight that I'm actually looking for also too is that's not getting a lot of credit, I believe, is obviously the Terrence Crawford's next fight with Diaz.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm rooting for Crawford, of course, but I believe it's going to be a lot more entertaining and challenging than the last couple of fights. But I still believe that Terrence Crawford is actually the best at 140, hands down.
Mel, you actually saved the day because we were expecting Kenny and Shawn Porter to call in, and we're still trying to find them. So I'm going to just keep rolling with you. I need to ask you who...
Man, I got Kenny, if you listening, get your butt on the phone, man. We love hearing your input, man. Get on the phone.
Right.
Man.
But listen, who tried to kill your boy Broner?
Oh, man, that's the whole... honestly, ladies, I'm still trying to figure out the real story, to be real with y'all. Just like everybody else, I woke up, seen on social media, full of holes in the SUV, and I spoke with my team, and they're basically saying that he was just at the wrong place at the wrong time, but actually that he wasn't the one that was actually starting the drama this time around, and that I guess he was just leaving the scene, and that's when all the craziness had started. But even till now, I haven't seen him. Well, y'all know me, like I said, I wish him the best of luck at everything. I'm glad that he's safe. But like I said, I just wish that sometimes he stay away from certain crowds. But it is what it is.
We thought you had the
I kind of feel sorry for the kid. Like you said, I feel the same thing. It's a lot of it is his element. And when I saw the story, actually, and then I watched the video, I felt sorry for Broner. I thought, damn, what a rough night.
Sometimes we could be honest, real. Sometimes, he may put himself in certain situations, just basically being himself. But like I said, for the most part, what I heard that it actually was a case that he wasn't the one causing the drama. He just happened to get caught into something. But like I said, when you have that past, people just known for getting into trouble. It doesn't really matter what the side of the story
people
is.
People gonna try you.
Times. But so like I said, I'm just glad that he's okay. I hope this is another learning experience because losing fights is one thing, but like I say, if you lose your life, that's it. There's no coming back from that.
Yep. It's time to pick up stakes. It might be time to relocate to another region of the country. Pick up the kids, pick up the wifey, and hit another spot. But anyway, Jamel Herring, thank you so much for calling in and talking with us. We are ready to see you back in the ring. We're very excited to see you back in the ring.
Oh, it's always great talking with you too, man. It's always great. Like I said, I'll be tuning in. Like I said, I'll be back next week. I'm always listening now.
Thank you for the support, man. You got some friends over here.
Take it easy.
All
right, take care. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and I think we will be back now with Kenny and Shawn Porter.
If you want the best, BoxStats beats the rest. BoxStats is the best boxing app for all you boxing enthusiasts and professional boxers. Perform a quick search and get all the info you want and need. BoxStats, available on the Apple App Store. Download it for free today. BoxStats, know your opponent.
All right, we are back with the Morning Punch-In Show. Before we bring on our next guest, I want to kick off a little segment that we will be doing every week. We are going to call it the Petty of the Week. And this week, today I'm launching a new segment, Petty of the Week, and where each and every week I will bring you some of boxing's most petty occurrences from around the world. And if you're listening and you're unsure of what petty means in the urban sense, petty is defined by Urban Dictionary, and you can go out there as making things, events, or actions normal people dismiss as trivial into excuses to be upset, uncooperative, childish, or stubborn. So with that definition, this week's Petty of the Week salute goes to Jermell Charlo, who took to Instagram following his victory over Charles Hatley, and he reposted a picture on his Instagram of Charles Hatley posing with Julian J. Rock Williams, and the caption underneath the original photo says, "Within 90 days, the Charlo twins have to give us our belts. Enjoy them as long as y'all can. Hashtag easy work." And he tagged J Rock Boxing in the photo. So it looks like the Charlos are enjoying their respective victories and being petty. And for that, we give them the first annual Petty of the Week award. So kudos to you. There's no prize attached to it, but y'all keep on being petty and we'll keep on watching. And so that's where we are, RB. If you want to see the picture, make sure you go over to Instagram to Future of Boxing's IG account, and you can see the repost of the picture with Charles Hatley with J Rock Boxing, because the twins are really emerging as the bad boys. You like the bad boy, Charlos, RB?
I do. I have to admit it. I'm glad that they're finally becoming who they really are, and I'm so glad that they're finally speaking up. They're calling out who they want to fight. They're no longer redirecting back to Al Heyman like many fighters do. I think that they are the new bad boys in boxing, and these are, I think, the Charlos that I wanted to like, but they were just so filtered before, and they were so scripted, and a lot of fighters were, not just them. They were all kind of puppets, and now they're like, we want to fight Triple G. We want Danny Jacobs. We want Canelo. And I'm like, yes, we want fighters that want to fight. Those are the guys that we want to root for. And I think that they are making new fans. I follow many, many people on Twitter that never really did like them, and I see them now saying, I like the Charlos. They made me fans.
I like it. It's
so
a lot more interesting.
I think it's working. Whatever they're doing, it's working, and they're winning in a big type of fashion. They're not going in there and being boring. They're going in there and being very flashy. They're knocking people the F out dramatically. So I think that they have a lot of momentum behind them. I did hear that Jamal Charlo is probably supposed to be fighting in May or June. So hopefully they do get him right back.
All right. It looks like our guest is having some technical difficulty and wants us to call him. So let me dial him into the switchboard right now. Well, I'm learning how to do that.
Did you check that he has the right number, Jay?
Yeah, he has it. Let's see what he's got going. I'm going to dial him in.
Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
KP, you just
we
waking
are
up?
Here listening in. We're joined by Kenny Porter, and we're going to have Shawn Porter after a great victory over Andre Berto this past weekend in New York at the Barclays Center. Let's start with the coach, with the father. Grade your son's performance, and did he stick to the game plan that you set up for him going into this fight?
Nah, he didn't stick to the game plan, but he didn't stick to the game plan. But I have a situation with Shawn where we have an understanding that I know when he's determined to do something, I just got to start. At that point, I have to start leaning in his direction with the directions that I'm giving him each round. So. He kind of got away from my game plan real early, and he made up his mind about what he was going to do, so I coached accordingly.
So, okay, then now we have to know then, How did he go off your game plan? I mean, you've known Berto for years. You've been screaming for this fight. We've been kind of beating the drum for you to get this fight too. What was the simple game plan?
Well, starting off, I actually wanted it to be a clean fight. I didn't want Shawn to go right at him early. I wanted him to get a few rounds, at least 2, where he showed his boxing skill and his ability to land a clean jab, step around a guy, put a combination together, make a guy miss a combination, and come back with something and keep it, an early boxing match. But early on, Shawn just said, hey, I'm about to go get this guy.
And he did. He mauled him, okay?
Yeah. Hey, guys, unfortunately, because Shawn is not here with me, I got to get him on the line right now this morning because he's got an appointment this morning as well, so I got to get him on. Can you guys hold on?
Sure.
Thank you.
You are listening to the Morning Punch-In Show, the most unpredictable, authentic boxing morning show in the game. It is Monday, April 24th. For you just tuning in, we had a chance to talk to Jamel Herring about his potential next outing in the fight. Jake Donovan at the top of the show. RB is broadcasting from Outer Mongolia currently to be with you this week. I'm in the LBC, no sea walking with Snoop Dogg this morning, but we are joined by our special guests, Shawn Porter and Kenny Porter. Kenny Porter, if you're just tuning in, said that Shawn did not stick to the game plan in his victory over Andre Berto, and he'll be joining us in just a moment to give his assessment on his performance. RB, like you just mentioned with Kenny, we've been beating the drum to see Shawn in another fight, so it's exciting to see him get this victory. We, at the top of the year when they were announced in the PBC and upcoming schedule for the year, we kept asking that question, where is Shawn Porter? So,
well, yeah, he was...
Hello?
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds interesting. It sounds like we're underwater. I think that is Kenny trying to get Shawn on the line. Kenny, are you back with us?
Yes, we're back. Shawn.
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, for those listening, we are now joined by Shawn Showtime Porter. Congratulations on your victory on Saturday night.
Oh, thank you very much. Just resting up. Still reflecting on it, and obviously proud of myself, and ready to just get recovered and get back to training and everything.
So, how much time are you giving yourself to kind of bask in a victory, and what are you going to do for recovery? Are you going to do some yoga? Are you going to go out and jump out of a plane? What are you going to do for this recovery?
I don't think jumping out of a plane is considered recovery, but I'm sure we'll find something fun to do to fill the time that I have to recover from everything. I did some soaking last night in the ice tub. Was 44 degrees last night. I wasn't happy about that. I usually try to keep it around 50, but my dad been playing around with the tub. He thinks it's funny.
He got you.
Right.
He said that's
outside of that,
sticking to the game plan.
Yeah, outside of that, I think I'll probably just like you said, get a little yoga in and mostly just rest up. I don't really have a time frame for how long I want to take off or anything like that. We usually just we get the fights when they give them to us, So at this point, we'll rest up, and as soon as we're ready to go, we'll let them know, and we'll let boxing take care of itself.
Shawn, when your father joined us at the top of just a few moments ago, he said that you didn't stick to the game plan in the fight. What did you see in Berto that made you make the choice to deviate from the plan that your dad gave you?
I mean, I guess my first question to him would be, what part of the game plan didn't I stick to?
Okay.
Asking that.
Okay. Well, when they ask the question can be misconstrued. It can be a very, very question. It can be very vast. So,
hey man, don't be misconstruing people.
My bad. I thought that was a direct quote.
Or misdemeanor like Adrian Bronner, right?
Lord, do you know who tried to kill Adrian Broner?
No, I have no clue. But
Okay.
I do know if you got 8 bullets in your car, someone's trying to do damage.
Right. Right.
So
Okay. Let me.
to be a little more
Game plan.
specific in the answering the question was, did he stick to the game plan? Sticking to the game plan, that's like 100%. Sticking, that's it. You know what I'm saying? That's like throwing a dart and hitting it direct center. That's sticking to a game plan. So he probably went, in that 95% range early on. He started going a different direction, and it's not like, he went totally to the left or anything like that at all. But it was me steering him back to that, to that point. So, it was one of those situations where, I was guiding him back there and he was kind of getting off of there and I was guiding him back. But, he wasn't, it wasn't like he was way to the left.
Shawn, you dominated the fight from the beginning until the referee stopped it. Did you expect to go to the distance, but in that ninth and final round when you were just pummeling Berto against the ropes, did you sense that the end was coming and that's why you kicked it up another notch?
Well, you know what? Throughout the fight, there were points where I had him on the ropes and I was really getting after him. And after those moments, I think once we got back to the center of the ring, it was for a few reasons. Number one, I didn't have the sense that, he was going to go anywhere. And outside of that, I knew because of, his record and, the things that he has done, I knew that, there was a good chance that he might be able to hold on throughout the entire fight. But, I never, questioned myself and my abilities. So every time I got him on the ropes, it was just a matter of, trying to hurt him and trying to give him a sense that I wasn't gonna stop, and maybe that would, let him know, that hey, maybe it's time for me to take a bow. But the very last time that I had him on the corner and in the ropes, I could see that he was a little dazed before he hit the ropes, and so my thing was just keep going, and after a while, the ref finally did jump in and decided that Andre had enough that night.
Well, Shawn, you always make for good TV fights, and you're always such a class act. You're always in dog shape. We always know that you're going to go 12 if you have to go 12, but we always know that you want to finish the person in front of you. We want to see you more this year. After the fight, Keith Thurman seemed really, really open in granting you your rematch. He said he deserves it. He has earned it. Let's talk to Al. Do you believe it? Do you think you can get that rematch that you so desperately want with Keith Thurman?
I was with my friends yesterday, and we were talking about it. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to remain positive, and saying all that just to say, that's what he said. He was in the moment, in the spotlight. And, I understand what that feels like. You have to say the right things, to impress everyone and, give everyone a sense of hope or whatever, So, I guess in some ways he gave me a sense of hope, but it was like I told him right there in that moment as well. I'm not trying to disrespect you, but right now those are just a bunch of words. All I understand is yes. So yes would have felt a lot better. I didn't get something as simple as yes, but I did get an answer. So we'll entertain that fight as soon as possible. And obviously Al Heyman knows what Shawn Porter and his team want. So hopefully we can make it happen. Okay.
I asked the Twitter fans last night, if they would rather see you fight Thurman in a rematch or Danny Garcia. And I must say about 90% of the responses that I got said that they would love for you to fight Danny Garcia.
Yeah, that's a fight that I would like to have as well. I think, I thought that his fight with Keith Thurman was, I didn't think that he won the fight. Honestly, I didn't think it was very close. But I do think that he's still a strong fighter. He's still a very good fighter.
Oh, yeah.
I think that on TV that's a very good fight for fight fans, and it's a good fight for both of us as well.
At the conclusion of the fight, Shawn, you said that you wanted to work on headbutt and just something that was something you wanted to work on. How do you make that adjustment? And looking back, reflecting on the fight with Berto, how often was it a problem? Was it a matter of him coming in and you having to come in aggressive? What made you utter that in the post-fight? Because it came as a surprise that kind of just popped out of your mouth when they were interviewed after the fight.
Yeah, well, I mean, I thought that it was, that was a very significant part of the fight. The headbutts were very, very relevant in the fight. Changed the way he was fighting. I think it may have actually affected him and hurt him at some points in the fight. Myself, I'm understanding anything can happen at any time. You just have to, stay focused and keep fighting. Ultimately the goal is to win. You can't let anything. Right. I can't let anything stop me. But saying all that, I just felt that was something that needs to be improved on, and it's something that we've talked about, something that my dad has really harped on in the past about me. My offensive attack and my approach in the fight. You have to recognize not only what I'm doing, but what my opponent is doing as well. And I could see that Berto wanted to get at me. I thought that my feints and my jabs were keeping him from, being able to use his offensive tactics on me. But there were also points where, collectively we both came in very aggressively, and headbutts were made. So in the future, not only do I set up my offense, but I have to also recognize what my guy is doing, how he's coming at me, and be able to keep my head out of the line of fire of the headbutts as well as the punches.
Hey, guys, if you let me interject here, Shawn, and back to things being misconstrued. When you say, I got to work on headbutts, that signifies or sends off an alarm. Headbutts mean that to people, you were trying to headbutt or someone was headbutting. You don't want to present it that way. What you want to say was a head clash or an incidental or accidental headbutt. But when they hear headbutt, they think someone intentionally was using headbutt. So that's what happens. Like, when it's heard, it's, they're headbutting. No, we got two guys who are both 5'7". We got two guys who are physically pretty much the same type of body structure. We got two guys that both like to come forward. So in that situation, two guys are probably going to have an incident or an accident where their heads clash. So that is more of the wording, and people take that, and when the first thing they read on the headline is headbutt, it sounds like someone was headbutting, when in actuality it was an incidental or accidental, as the referee said, clashing of the heads.
I got you.
Yeah. Anybody watching the fight doesn't think Shawn just came in like, trying to headbutt him during the fight. Exactly.
And I gotta go back and watch the fight, which I haven't watched it yet, guys. But I will be looking for, and I thought this might have happened after the first round when Shawn had redness over his eye. I thought to myself, Berto's going to try to open this up, because this will give him an advantage in this fight. He's going to try to open this up. And that was the first thought that came to my mind. So I was trying to see if there were going to be tactics on his behalf. And I'm quite sure if you got a choice of being the guy that went down the way he did 3 times, or you got a choice of being the guy, I'm going to put my head down when he comes in, I'm just putting it down, he's going to put his head down.
Right. But
because he doesn't want to be the guy that was on the... Yeah.
But let us just say that Shawn was excellent. He looked so sharp. He looked so crisp. He looked so prepared. And it was a wonderful exhibition of the hard work in the gym, the coaching, and just the preparation for this fight. And it was good to see him perform at that level on the big stage once again and remind the fans that he is here in the welterweight division and ready to make his statement. So kudos to the both of you for such a great statement.
I love it, and the best part about it was, we got to the back room, and my dad and Coach Larry Wade, my other coach, that's right now my dad's right hand man. They were talking about how focused I was in the ring and how well I listened to my dad, and that's a part of the feeling that I get in the ring. I feel like I need my dad, and I also feel like if I'm doing the right things, then everything is going to happen the right way. So that was definitely a fine example of someone being ready for a fight, not only physically but mentally as well, mentally prepared for what I was up against, and willing and wanting to win and doing everything I could to win. So definitely enjoyed the night and the fight, and I'm definitely feeling very, very blessed right now to be able to come home and relax and enjoy the fruits of my labor, which is right now just doing an interview with you guys. So thank you very much for the phone call.
Are you guys going to get another alpaca rug? Another alpaca? I didn't forget. Shawn, are you going to get another alpaca rug?
Am I going to get another what?
Are you going to get another alpaca rug to celebrate the victory?
Athena bought my milk last time, and just gave her a couple bucks.
Okay. Well, why don't we go ahead and wrap, because it sounds like you are out in the field and we are closing up the show. So thank you, gentlemen. Congratulations again on your victory Saturday night, and we look forward to talking to you again in the future.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Care.
Thank you.
All right. So we are back. Let's take one final commercial break, and we'll wrap it up with, we'll go ahead and close out the show for this weekend. It's been a great one.
If you want the best, BoxStats beats the rest. BoxStats is the best boxing app for all you boxing enthusiasts and professional boxers. Perform a quick search and get all the info you want and need. BoxStats, available on the Apple App Store. Download it for free today. BoxStats, know your opponent.
Okay. Well, we are a little bit past our hour here, but there are a couple things that we did want to mention. There were other fights this weekend. There were some good fights this weekend. We talked about, the Berto Porter fight just now with Kenny and Shawn. The Harvest did not come, just in case you were wondering. And after the fight, Jay, Amir Khan, I want you to talk a little bit about what Amir Khan said and what he wants.
Amir Khan, it's never a week without Amir Khan, so let's come with this week's Amir Khan Who's Gonna Check Me Boo moment. Following the fight, Amir Khan tweeted, "Forget Porter, get your gloves on at Keith Thurman. I want you end of this year, more money and bigger fight. Hashtag ponytail." Oh, Amir Khan. Oh, Amir Khan. So that is the Amir Khan Who Gonna Check Me Boo moment of the week. He wants to fight the ponytail.
Yeah, Khan just, it's never about anybody else. Shawn Porter had his moment. He won big. He beats Berto, and then he's out there screaming for Keith Thurman. You got to love him. Who's going to check him? Nobody. Anyway, before the Porter-Berto fight, Jermell Charlo with the brutal knockout over Charles Hatley. We talked a little bit about that. And now Jermell Charlo wants to fight Jarrett Hurd. So I think that would be an awesome matchup if they can make that happen. Charles Hatley was laying there on the ground, ice cold, eyes wide shut on the deck. It was nasty, nasty, nasty. Again, I never did think it was a 50-50 fight, but it was good for Charlo to get that win in the way he did. They're making new fans. They're the new bad boys of boxing. Let's go over to the Top Rank card, Jay, that was out in L.A. on Top Rank pay-per-view. Jesse Magdaleno, he won. He destroyed Dos Santos in 2 rounds. Zurdo won. Now, I didn't watch the fight, but from my Twitter, a lot of people were saying that Zurdo is just so boring. He just never is in a good fight. Nobody really likes him. And I'm talking about hardcore Mexican fans that are like, he's boring.
Right. He doesn't have that style that's appealing to them. And I know they're making a push for a good super middleweight showdown for Zurdo, but it didn't look like the fans were really, really into it. He did get the victory as expected, but there was far more interest in what Magdaleno and what later Valdez was doing on the card, which was a great fight. So hopefully Zerto's performance sets up a future fight, maybe with Jesse Hart, and Jesse Hart wants him. They both fight for top rank. Maybe stylistically that'll be a more appealing fight for both of their super middleweights. But at this point, a lot of mention has been made of Zerto fighting Golovkin in the future. I don't think that's the right fight for him quite yet, or if ever. And as far as his style, like you mentioned, the fans just weren't feeling it. They just were kind of watching it happen.
And then in the main event, the fight that was totally overlooked by a lot of people in the media and a lot of fans was a true 50-50 fight between Oscar Valdez and Miguel Mariaga. Valdez beat Mariaga in a grueling war. He dropped him. He got the decision. It was a really tough fight. He feels like he graduated. No doubt in Valdez's mind. He said, Mariaga has been my toughest opponent to date. And he knew it was going to be a tough fight. So I think the future is so bright for Valdez, but Jay, I have to say, they need to get him on regular TV. He needs to be on HBO Latino. The pay-per-view thing is kind of scary for a guy like Valdez. I mean, I think there was only like 5,000 people that showed up to the StubHub.
Right. And it's so surprising. Valdez is a great fighter. He's a gritty fighter. He's appealing to two markets, and I'm not sure what exactly is the holdback from that. The StubHub, a great arena. It was a hot, sunny day in California, but not a huge turnout for the fight. A great turnout, a good crowd, an excited crowd to be there, but not what we expected. So what happens with him in the future will be interesting. There's a lot of opportunities for fights out there. He is the defending champion, but I don't know what they need to do because he really is a cool kid.
It's not them, because Valdez is fighting. People like him. He's marketable. He's a good fighter. Top Rank is a machine. It's HBO. Right. The networks have got to buy into him and say, he's one of our future stars. They bought into Verdejo really quickly. And now look where Verdejo's at. He's nowhere. So it's like, okay, they need to sign on and get on the Team Valdez train and start getting him on. I mean, that card on Saturday would have been perfect on HBO Latino or something like that. It didn't have to be HBO Championship, boxing, but, they belong on the regular network for sure, and they need to start buying into Oscar Valdez. Anyway, real quick, in case you missed it, Shakur Stevenson, he made his pro debut on that card, and he beat Edgar Brito in about 5 rounds. And we talked a little bit earlier about this, but Adrian Broner was arrested again. He was found by police in an SUV that was shot up with bullets. He's saying that somebody's trying to kill him. They're jealous of him. They want to kill a celebrity to make a name for themselves. No word yet on who that celebrity is that he thinks they are trying to kill, but just more money, more problems for Adrian Broner, Jay.
Yeah, AB got to be about bouncing to someplace else because where he's living is not working out too great for him. So, AB, keep your head up, bruh. Keep your head up. Let's get it together.
Yeah. Jay, why don't you wrap us up with the weekend fight schedule, and then we will sign off and let everybody continue on with their Monday.
All right, let's start with April 27th from Durham, North Carolina.
What?
North Carolina. If you are in the North Carolina area, make sure you head on out and see Jamar Freeman taking on Jeremy Ramos, 6 rounds. Russell Peltz with the expert matchmaking, RB with the hard work, dedication, Top Cats Boxing out there in Durham. If you are in the surrounding areas, go ahead and make sure you check out fights because Thursday night is a great night for fights. So we're going to kick that off on Thursday the 27th if you're in that area. On Friday the 28th, on Unamas, Casey Ramos versus Miguel Beltran are fighting in Studio City, California, so that'll be on Unamas. Also on the same day, during the day from London, the big heavyweight showdown from England, Anthony Joshua versus Vladimir Klitschko for Joshua's IBF and the vacant WBA heavyweight title. Also fighting on the card, Scott Quigg versus Viorel Simeon and Luke Campbell versus Darlis Perez. So make sure, Katie Taylor is also fighting. A lot of people ask us if we're going to get Katie Taylor on. She'll be fighting on Saturday night against Nina Minke. Also on Saturday night, if you are not watching, you could watch the show, the Joshua fight during the day, and then you can watch this at night. PBC on Fox Sports, Carlos Zambrano versus Claudio Marrero for Zambrano's WBA interim featherweight title, and also Jason Rosario versus Nathaniel Gallimore. And Layla McCarter, Raging Babe, will be fighting on the card as well. This is a Mayweather Promotions card. She's a recent signee, so if you are in Vegas, make sure you check that out. And that's all I got for the popular fight schedule for this weekend, RB.
Well, thank you so much, and we appreciate everyone for listening today. Jay, thank you for holding it down while I'm out here in the boonies. Make sure you visit badculture.net, ragingbabe.com. You can catch us right here every Monday morning from 8 to 9. It is the Morning Punch-In Show. Thank you for making us a part of your day. It's a wrap.